Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, if you're a new viewer, welcome in. Okay, we're doing a collective reading today, and you know, we're just going to be talking about family patterns and family dynamics, okay, and seeing whatever the messages are that come out for you here, okay, just so you can see how I'm getting it here. So I definitely got strength here. See, there's something that occurred in your family that required you to reinforce your boundaries, okay? That's what I'm getting here for. And it's something that required you to have ancestral support and that backing that really made you be able to overcome whatever it was that occurred, okay? And I literally have spiritual warrior here. So to me, this is the same thing. It's just talking about your strength to overcome something that you had going on in your family, right? And to me, it's crazy. You can't make this stuff up though. Boundary violation. Okay, somebody might have like intruded upon your personal space or just been overstepping in your energy as far as your family. Yeah, and they might have wanted you to be perfect, okay? Or they had really high expectations of you. And I get this could have been from your mother's side of the family, or it could have been your mother, right? And part of the boundaries that you had to have was, this interdependence, right? Just like healthy individuation, right? A secure attachment style, right? That's also a part of this reinforcing these boundaries. But I get this was strength that was sacred support, ancestral support that allowed you to do this. Okay? Yeah, something about that maternal bloodline. Okay? Yeah, they expected a lot out of you. They put a lot of pressure on you, collective. Yeah. And I think you might have spent a lot of time in your younger years, self-blaming, not having a lot of empathy for yourself, criticizing yourself because of this pressure they were putting on you to be perfect. You had a lot of shame and guilt for not being, whatever it was that your mother or someone from your mother's side of the family was not, clearly stating that you need to do. It's also this confusion with it. Like, they always had complaints, but you never understood how to stop the complaints because everything you did was never enough. That's what I'm getting here. Okay? And I feel like you've learned to have empathy for yourself. Okay? Because there could have been a lack of empathy from your mother or someone on your mother's side of the family. Yeah, this is interesting because I get you can't make this stuff up. Your mother might be avoidant, or your mother just might prefer surface level engagement, or someone on your mother's side of the family. When they might dissociate when things are tough, or avoid accountability, Or like I said, just keep things very surface level, which to me, that makes sense why they project this perfectionism onto you, because they want the appearance of perfection. They just want the appearance on the surface of the perfect, happy family. And all of that got thrown onto you. So you started naturally blaming yourself. Okay? Yeah. But this was just them overstepping. All right? Because they were entitled. Okay? They were just self-centered, worried about what they wanted, whether that was your mother or someone else. You can't make this stuff up. It's giving enmeshment vibes. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah. Your mother or whoever this family member was on your mother's side didn't know how to separate you from themselves. Okay? They looked at you as an extension of themselves, not as an individual person. That's why you had to develop this healthy individuation and interdependence. Okay? That's why I say you had to put those boundaries up, because this was a boundary violation. Okay? You had the resilience. This was given to you from your ancestors. Okay? Yes, you cannot make this stuff up. Because they wanted you to gain autonomy and get away from this enmeshment. You cannot make this stuff up. You had to gain inner authority and ownership, self-governance, interdependence. You cannot make this stuff up. You can't. You cannot make this stuff up. This was something you had to learn. Okay. What else you got for me here, Holy Spirit? Yeah. And I feel like, to be honest, I feel like this is something that took you a very long time. I feel like whoever this family member was, you know, they might have been someone who was very easily triggered and had low impulse control, right? And I feel like this also was something that led you to do that self-blame, right? You know, you thought it was you making this person angry, but no, they are just immature. They have arrested development, okay? Again, it's a lot of emotional immaturity here. Failure to launch, okay? Stunted growth. Whoever this person was, and really you were always the mature one with this parentification. Like you literally, it's like, that's what I'm saying with this enmeshment and this boundary violation, okay? And this arrested development, emotional immaturity, you had to do all the emotional labor. If this really was your mother, you had to be your mother's emotional support when you were a child, which is crazy. Even that goes into this empathy. Yes, you had to have the empathy for yourself, but growing up, you had to have the empathy for your mother or whoever was on her side of the family that was projecting all of this onto you. It's like you were burdened. And then the roles were reversed. You were supposed to be cared for, but you had to emotionally care for your caregiver. That's what I'm getting here. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't right. Okay. Any other messages for the collective, Holy Spirit, on this? This is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, this might have been who you were. You were absorbing the conflict. All of this anger and this immaturity. That's who you were. You were the peacemaker. Absorbing it. Self-sacrifice. Forced harmony. You had to maintain the peace at all costs. That's why I keep getting this healthy individuation. Okay? You had to set those boundaries. You had to. And this autonomy, you had to set those boundaries because, again, you were absorbing all of this conflict, blaming yourself. But it's just because your mother or whoever was on her side of the family is avoidant. Get out of here. Get out of here. It was never you. All right? You know what I'm saying? And I felt like you had no choice but to do that because, you know, I feel like your mother might have guilt-tripped you or whoever this family member is. They used a lot of guilt-tripping and martyrdom, okay, to try to coerce you into absorbing the conflict, because they recognized you had the empathy. This is why you had to play this role. That's why you had to be this archetype. Because they were avoidant. Whoever this family member is, if it's your mother or if it's not. Yeah. And that's what I keep saying. I keep getting this stuff, this addiction. It's still the same thing, this avoidance, just emotional numbing that I'm getting, this self-destructive emotional numbing coming from this family member, but then at the same time wanting to be the victim, okay? Surface level engagement, all right? Anger and arrested development. Whoever this individual is, their energy is heavy and dark and immature. And just absolutely misguided. Remember, we had the entitlement here, and then the enmeshment. How they get you enmeshed is that guilt tripping, I'm telling you. All right? And the way you were parentified, like I said, it's forced maturity. You had no choice but to become resilient like you are. Collective, you had no choice. Ooh, sorry, I dropped the card. Let me tell you. And I got this alignment energy here, right? And I was trying to figure out why. And, you know, it could have been that you had healthy love or emotional safety from someone on your father's side of the family, your paternal bloodline, if it wasn't your actual father, okay? Or this could just be you coming into alignment just with masculine legacy or stability in a way that is healthy. You could have had to make your own emotional safety, okay? And stability. You could have had to be your own emotional regulator, all right? Or, like I said, it could actually be someone on your paternal bloodline or your father, you know? And you had to come into alignment with this, okay? And I feel like that's what modeled healthy love for you. I almost feel like this is what made you come into alignment, because you had a model of healthy love somewhere outside of this maternal figure or maternal bloodline energy. You had someone else that could model something for you. Yeah, and I think that's what led to you to stop the self-blame. Yeah, wow, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, and this led you on a path of soul retrieval and integration. Yeah, because you had discernment. This is what led to your ability to discern the difference between who people are and sense the truth between who is what and what is love and what is healthy and what is not, right? Enmeshment versus healthy love. That's what I'm saying. That's was your discernment. And soul retrieval. You became integrated. Again, but that's what this was, that strength from your ancestors, that resilience, that spiritual resilience. Okay? All right, collective. I see you out there shining. I see you shining, collective. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And let me tell you, You were dealing with a lot of hypervigilance. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You were scanning for threats. But eventually this became scanning for truth. You see what I'm saying? After you retrieved your soul, right? That hypervigilance turned into discernment. Because a lot of people confuse the two, okay? Like people want to say you paranoid, you thinking too much, like all this stuff. No, you're discerning. You are truth sensing, all right? You are not scanning for threats. You are scanning for truth. All right? And that's the difference right there. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer projecting and idealizing and distorting the truth. You are no longer doing that. All right? You are literally breaking generational curses. Breaking generational curses and finding your own stability. That's what I'm saying. This autonomy and interdependence. All right? Because you had that healthy love modeled for you. You're coming into alignment, collective, coming into stability, breaking those curses, okay? Using that discernment to see through the fog, all right? Leaving that hypervigilance behind because your soul has come back online. You have went on a soul retrieval mission. Okay? You have had an ego death. All right? You are no longer living in the ego. No longer living in the surface level. You have had a belief system collapse because you realized it was never your belief system. That was your enmeshment with whoever this was from your maternal bloodline. Okay? Yeah. And you had to allow yourself to be vulnerable and open to actually do this soul retrieval. Okay? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I feel like they were using you as the entertainment in the family. Watching you grovel and try to make the peace and all those things and making you blame yourself. You know what I'm saying? This was entertaining to whoever these people were on your mother's side of the family, if not your mother. But hey, they're the ones that are lost souls. Okay? They literally have no guidance. That's why whoever this individual is avoidant, okay? And they have this entitlement. They want a guilt trip. Addicted to chaos, emotional numbing, arrested development, emotional immaturity, anger, impulsivity. This individual, a hot mess, okay? All right, anything else for the collective on this one, Holy Spirit? Yeah, you can make this stuff up. We already had this perfectionism energy out here. And again, you performed perfection. The golden child, you performed perfection. You absorbed conflict. That's the same thing as this self-blame. It keeps saying that the two roles you had was the peacemaker and the golden child, okay? And all these other things are byproducts and extensions of that, okay? All right, Holy Spirit. What do we have next for the collective? Or what energy do you see coming next for the collective on this journey of autonomy and interdependence and this new path that they are embarking on after breaking these generational curses? You know, what's the energy around what you have in store or what you see in store or capabilities for them, Holy Spirit? Just what do they need to know about their future? Whether it's guidance or what, Holy Spirit? Because I know we got free will, okay? But I just want some forward energy for the collective here. Seems they have overcome a lot. Okay? Oh, wow. Judgment. Immediately. Wow. No, this is absolutely going to be a rebirth and a reckoning. Okay? Yeah. This is where you're coming up on the moment and the time where they're going to weigh you. Your soul is being weighed, collective. But I think it's good. I think this is a positive weight. Like a redemption arc. You know what I'm saying? You started out very self-critical, absorbing this stuff, being enmeshed, okay, being in the surface level. You needed a reality check. You already had that, but it's because you were surrounded by so many lost souls that projected all of their toxicity onto you. This parentification, the perfectionism, okay, this hypervigilance. You know what I mean? Using you as a catch-all for their anger, their guilt trips, their addictions, okay? Their avoidant behavior, their entitlement. You were supposed to catch all of that. And this is saying, God is saying that they see you. God is saying they see what you have gone through and where you have come from. And this is time for the rewards. This is the vibe I'm getting. It's judgment time. And I don't think it's bad judgment. Yeah. You cannot make this up. Okay? Yeah, you cannot make this up. Let me tell you. New opportunities, potential. Okay? Again, this resilience. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. Continue to be a spiritual warrior. Continue to utilize that ancestral support. Okay? Continue to have courage. Hold firm in the face of opposition, okay? That's what I'm seeing here. And see? This transition, this soul searching, okay? Like I said, you've already been on this soul retrieval mission. That's how you overcame this hypervigilance. It has turned into discernment. You no longer scan for threats. You scan for truth, okay? Continue on this path. Continue on this journey, okay? Release what no longer serves you. Release this hypervigilance, okay? Get into the deeper meaning. Discernment, okay? That's the more authentic path. Don't let people influence your interpretation, okay? People want to say, I'm hypervigilant. No, it ain't hypervigilance. It's discernment. You have to dive deeper into things so they don't seem so surface level. Because, again, you already came from that. Whatever was going on with your mother or your maternal bloodline, they already conditioned you to be superficial. No. Look beneath the surface. Okay, continue on that path. Continue on that path. Woo. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah, but the Holy Spirit is also saying, collective, like, don't lose your innocence, okay? Don't stop being you. Don't stop being that empath, okay? Don't stop being vulnerable. Don't stop being the big loving softie, okay? Just because of all of this heaviness that you went through. Don't let, you know what I'm saying, the opposition and the darkness and the rivalry, don't let that block you from your open heart. You can't make this stuff up. Don't let that stuff change who you are. Your joy and your innocence and your openness emotionally, don't let this conflict have you shut down. That's what the Holy Spirit is saying. Don't let, because if you let it shut down, guess what? You're going to become the avoidant. This is how those generational cycles occur. They hurt you in the same way, so you turn into one of them. Don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. That's what the Holy Spirit is saying. Okay? Okay? And look, that's all I got for you on this one. Because I could go on and on and on, to be honest. But if this resonates for you, like, comment, subscribe. I hope someone found this message very helpful. I made this deck myself. I'm very big on family patterns, so this one was actually near and dear to my heart. This is my first time using it, so hopefully it resonated for somebody. Definitely let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. If it don't apply, let it fly. Everything ain't for everybody. All right, bye.